Welcome, spiritual hustlers, to 53 Days of Mindfulness with EXO and Hustle, presented by Self Hired. I am so excited to have you here. We're about to spend the next 53 days together sharing and dropping knowledge on how to bring spirituality to your grind so you can balance your growth with your hustle. This series is based off the Mindfulness Deck, an actionable 55 card deck designed to take you on a journey of self-understanding, healing, and habit building. The Mindfulness Deck is now available for pre-order at exoandhustle.com. And remember, I love hearing your breakthroughs, so make sure you join the conversation online at EXO and Hustle on Instagram. All right, let's get into it. Today's episode is brought to you by Delush CBD. Delush is a holistic lifestyle company that infuses hemp CBD into your favorite wellness and skincare products. Since we're all about love and good vibes, Delush CBD products are thoughtfully curated with non-toxic ingredients and are cruelty-free. Every product is handmade with all that love and good. You can use the discount code EXO and Hustle for 15% off your next order at delush.ca. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to 53 Days of Mindfulness. How y'all doing today? Holla at me on Instagram and let me know. Okay, today's card is so fucking cool. This is one of the cards where I have so much symbolism in it that I'm like, pretty impressed with myself. Okay, today's card is all about expand your perspective. On this card, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see a lit up vending machine at the end of the road. Behind the vending machine is a starry night. It's all in blue because blue represents our throat chakra. And then there's nice greenery, which is nature, and it's grounding, and it's like, I don't know, if for me the background is just so much of a mix of like, I got this and I'm in this 3D world, and then also this like highlighted sense of like, ooh, the 5D world and possibility. So 5D world is essentially your spiritual world, okay, guys? Anyways, the vending machine is then lit up, and at the very top of the vending machine, it says perspective. At the very bottom, where you're gonna go and grab whatever you get from the vending machine, it says shift. So essentially, you're gonna have a perspective shift. Inside of the vending machine, you will see three women that are, they're supposed to be that claw. You know that claw that just picks up all the toys? I always think of Toy Story whenever I think of that. But that claw that picks up all that toys. So they're women and they look like they're swimming. And so they're diving with their hands going in forward, and they're just so focused on whatever they're gonna go and get. And inside of the vending machine, what you'll see is you'll see a computer, an iPhone, a thought bubble, movie tickets, a book, and a conference photo. So in the conference photo, you'll see women just lined up, and there's this beautiful woman who's standing at the podium. The book is titled The Autobiography of a Hustler. The movie tickets could be anything, to be honest. And the thought bubble says, my favorite tagline for EXO and Hustle, which is, let's talk about what we think about. And then you'll see an iPhone with a beautiful podcast on it. And here we have the Think Space podcast. And then you'll see your laptop with YouTube open. And there's just so many different forms of so many different ways to shift your perspective in this vending machine. And depending on what you pull and you get, you can transform your motherfucking life. Okay. When I was younger, I grew up as that kid. I probably took everyone's skipping virginity. I probably barely went to school. I never studied. I honestly hated school. I hated it. And then I graduate and I get to this point where I kind of just hated being in my city. And so I was like, you can really get out of your own city with a cheat code by going to school. And so I decided to move, and I went to university, and I was honestly in the middle of my psychology degree, which was fascinating because now I still love psychology. That's literally the basis of what we're doing here together. But I had found this course, and it was consumer psychology. And consumer psychology is all about people's buying habits and their behaviors, and like, why do you gravitate to certain products versus other products, certain brands versus other brands? And that class felt like it was injecting me with like drugs of passion. Like I was so fucking excited about it. And I remember after that, like after the first few weeks of that class, I was so into it that I was like Googling all of these things at home. And I find marketing and I'm like, oh, marketing's so cool. And I just fell in love with it. And I just started learning on my own. And so at this point, I drop out of school and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to go and do my own thing. And at the time I was working in a call center and I was working night shift. And so after like 8 p.m., nobody really calls this call center. And I would have like 3 hours until I was off to just do nothing. And I remember at first I would actually do that. I would just do nothing. I would sit on Facebook and chill. But as time went on, I was like, yo, like I can maximize here and I could use these hours to like get really fucking smart. And it was so weird for me because I never had this thirst for knowledge as a child. But then the more that I started to have a thirst for knowledge as I grew up, I realized I actually did always have a thirst for knowledge as a child. I just wasn't able to do it in that traditional way that we had been structured to do it. So when I was a kid, I mean, I would watch like every Harry Potter. I would go in Lord of the Rings. I would play video games. I would read so many books. I would put myself in so many rooms where I would learn like a multitude of different things. I loved, my mom was so into like Oprah and Dr. Phil and all those things. And I would like literally just sit with her and just like learn. And there was this moment where I realized like, yo, you can learn from anything and everything. Like, oh my God, you can go out on the street and you can have a conversation with somebody and they can just spark something within you, or they can give you a piece of knowledge that's going to completely transform your life. And even if it doesn't completely transform your life, it either adds to it or takes away from it, but really ultimately adds to it in its own little way. And so when I truly started to understand this philosophy of like, yo, you can learn from absolutely any situation, I realized that when you put yourself in situations where you get to expand your perspective, where you get to shift the way that you currently look, the only real thing that you need to be is be malleable. Like be strong in your beliefs and strong in your values, but be malleable enough to allow new information to expand your perspective or to shift your perspective. So today's tip is go and engage with something educational. Yo, go and watch a Netflix movie or a show. Explained is hella gangster. Or go and watch a movie, or go and listen to a really dope podcast from somebody who you wouldn't normally listen to. Honestly, keep it fucking OG and go read a book or go to a class. Whatever you do, keep learning. The eternal student can never ever fail. Anyone who believes that they know everything, yo, you are already failing because you're closing yourself off to expanding yourself and growing. And ain't nobody gonna do that, especially if you on this podcast, okay? So today's Don't Mind My Hustle affirmation is, may I expand my perspective with ease. Continue strengthening your intuition offline by pre-ordering the Mindfulness Deck at exoandhustle.com. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and share with all your friends so you can all bring spirituality to your hustle. Until next time, keep being the spiritual hustler you already are.